Hiya crocheters, and happy Christmas to all of you who celebrate it. To everyone else, happy Friday. I hope you have a good weekend. Today I will be making the Christmas Star Ornament, which is a free pattern by Truly Crochet. I will pop a link to it below. I found it on Ravelry, as I do most of my patterns. This is a very quick, easy pattern. I think first time I made one it's about 15 minutes work, if that. So to make this, I will be using a HiyaHiya 5.5mm crochet hook. The pattern calls for a 5mm hook, but in my experiments yesterday I found just a little bit larger is easier, especially when it came to the bobble stitches, as they're quite big bobble stitches compared to ones I've made in the past. I will also be using my HiyaHiya rainbow guitar scissors. We do have a full range of rainbow scissors. We do them in unicorn, art deco leaf, guitar and butterfly. These ones are permanently on my desk, so they're usually my go-to. That or the leaf ones are over there too. And the last thing I will be using is this gorgeous, just a simple beigey off-white extra fine merino wool. It's just a very soft and delicate yarn. So yeah, let's get to making. So you want to do your slip knot and chain 5, and then you want to join this with a slip stitch to create a ring, which I suppose you could potentially do a magic circle with this too, but I am just following the pattern for now. I might try it with a magic circle later. So yeah, got my ring of 5 stitches. So you want to chain 1, which doesn't count as a stitch. We're going to repeat bobble stitch, chain 1 in each stitch around this loop. So this bobble stitch is working until you have 9 loops. So if you don't know how to do this, yarn over, and I'm going to go through both loops, yarn over again and pull through. I'm going to do that again, so yarn over through both loops of the same stitch, yarn over, pull through, and again, yarn over through both loops, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over. This is the tricky one. Yarn over, pull through. So you want to have 9 stitches on your crochet hook, and then you finish your stitch by yarn over and pulling it through all 9 loops, like so. So that is 1 bobble stitch, and I'm then going to do a chain 1 so it'll carry over the top of it, and repeat this again 4 more times. Now I am using HiyaHiya aluminium crochet hooks, which I did a test of this pattern on some acrylic yarn I had on my desk yesterday, some really cheap free magazine stuff, and I have to say it was a struggle to do a 9 loop bobble stitch with that one. It's a lot of friction, and because these have quite a good tapered point to get through most yarn, I actually found it tore it a bit. So if you do prefer slightly nicer yarns and don't use the acrylic stuff as much, these are perfect because they just glide through effortlessly. We do also offer our crochet hooks. We have 2 larger sizes which come in acrylic, a very jazzy glittery acrylic look. And then we also have our smaller range of crochet hooks available in nickel plated. So a bit of a range for everyone really. Now if you are struggling with this, doing up to 9 loops, I did do a tester because my tension still is a bit off with crochet. I'm still perfecting it. I did a tester yesterday where I only had 7 loops on the bobble stitch, and I did find that easier and it looked good still. So by all means, if you feel more comfortable doing that, go for it. Cool. So now you've got 5 bobble stitches and some random fluff. And this point we're going to slip stitch to join, and we're going to slip stitch into that first stitch, not the first chain, that doesn't count, into that first bubble stitch. So that's all joined up. So round 2 is to slip stitch into the next chain space, which in between your bubbles is where you did the chain 1 and you have these gaps. So slip stitch and chain 1, which once again this doesn't count as a stitch, so you know when you join at the end of the round. So this time we're going to work the bubble stitch into the gaps. And the first one is going to be, I'm going to hop over here, and it's going to be slightly different because we're going to do 2 bubble stitches with a chain in between in this gap, if you don't catch that awkwardly. So if you're used to granny squares, very similar to that technique. So there's my 9 from my bubble. Keep through. Almost there. Cheeky loop there. Cool. And then rather than move on to the next one, we are going to chain 1, but we're going to put another bubble stitch in that chain 1 space. So it'll be 2 bubble stitches each one with a chain 1 in between. So 2 bubble stitches, chain 1, and then repeat in each of the 5 gaps you've got around. Done that one. So we've got 2 in each chain, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And then like before, we're going to slip stitch into that first stitch, not the first chain. So you should have something like this at this stage. Right, so round 3 is pop a slip stitch into the next chain space and chain 1, which once again does not count as a stitch. In the next chain space, we are going to do 3 double crochets, 1 treble crochet, 3 chains, followed by 1 treble crochet and 3 double crochets. All of that in the same chain 1 space. And then 1 single crochet into the next chain space. And this will create the points of the star. So we're going to work that all the way around and end it by joining with a slip stitch to the beginning stitch, not the chain stitch. So that is pretty much done. I'm just going to weave in my ends, but obviously if you want to use the tails as the hanger for your decorations, you can, or you can weave them in, you can add ribbon. This I believe will be going as a decoration to some family members. So yeah, what did you think of this? I would love to know what you guys have been crocheting and knitting over this season. If you do try this pattern, once again the link is below for you to try. Please let me know. You can tag us on all social media, Hiyahiyaeurope, all one word. To buy any of the products I used in this, you can see a list of all our stockists below. It's arranged by country, but a lot of them do ship worldwide, so have a good look through and give some local businesses some support. If you are a yarn dyer or a knitting crochet shop and you are interested in stocking HiyaHiya, our registration is below, so you can give that a look too. And until next time, happy crocheting, happy Friday, and happy Christmas!